It's like, dude, he can't find a good fucking chick to save his life, bro. Like these chicks are always cheating on his ass. What the fuck?
Well, he's fucking half naked, so I guess it makes sense. I don't
I
know.
mean, yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to a brand new banging episode of Riffs Reloaded, where we talk about all things hard rock, heavy metal, classic rock, like today, and all things in between. I am your host, Nick, and on the other side there is my brother and co-host, Willie. Willie, what's up, brother? How you doing, man?
What's up, bro? I'm doing pretty good. I'm really excited for this episode. Coming after what we just did last week, so I'm
Hell
excited.
yeah. So this is going to be a part two, folks. So if you haven't already, check out all of our socials: X, YouTube, Spotify, Instagram. We're everywhere. We did an episode last week where we talked about the battle of debut albums between Black Sabbath and Led Zeppelin, two legendary bands in rock and roll, hard rock, heavy metal. We did the battle of the debut albums, but in doing that episode, we realized we need to go back and do a part two. And the part two is the second album that both bands released, because the second album literally came within months of releasing their first album. And we feel that the first albums from both bands felt kind of incomplete, felt like there was much more they could have added to them. And we went and listened to the second albums of both bands and realized, yeah, we got to do a part two of this episode. So if you haven't already, go back and listen or watch the episode from last week that we did on the battle of the debut albums between both bands. Today we're going to talk about the second albums from both bands and do a battle of those, see who had the better album and the better songs and all this and that. Willie, you chose Zeppelin, right? Last week?
Last week I did. Yes, Zeppelin was my
I
choice.
chose Sabbath last week, and we both chose Sabbath's cover art, right? For
We
best
did.
cover art.
Yes.
Interesting. Let's see how this one's going to go this
I
week, huh?
know. I know. You don't know. I don't know.
Right. So, before we get into that, just to touch on something that's going on currently, in case you've been living under a rock and you haven't seen it, Megadeth and Dave Mustaine are in the works of putting out their final album ever. I know it sucks, and all you Megadeth haters out there can suck a big fat fucking one. But they are coming out with their last album. It's titled Megadeth. And Dave Mustaine put out a video last week where he talked about that Megadeth was going to cover Metallica's Ride the Lightning, which Dave Mustaine had a big influence on. And pretty much said that he's coming full circle with himself and the band, and that since this is the beginning of the end of Megadeth, he decided now would be the best time to put out their version of Metallica's Ride the Lightning. Willie, it's pretty interesting to see that for the first time ever from any of those two bands, Metallica or Megadeth, we're getting a cover by one of those bands of the other band. What do you take of it?
I mean, I think it's a great way to call it a quits by delivering a Metallica song, but it's actually a Mega song.
Yep.
And there's a bunch of clips circling around going of past interviews of Dave explaining exactly that Ride the Lightning, that song is his song.
Mm-hmm.
And he's always said that from decades ago. So I think it's only fitting that we're going to get that on this new album. And I love that when he was explaining that this is going to be a cover on the album, is he's mentioned that it's going to be a little bit more sped up and a
Yep.
little bit of a tweak here and there. So I'm really excited for it, actually.
I am too, and I'm going to be interested to see how sped up it is, because we know off of Megadeth's debut record, they put out Mechanics, which is obviously the Four Horsemen, but really fucking sped up. So if he's talking about Ride the Lightning being sped up, I wonder if it's going to be in the same vein that Mechanics was. What do you think?
I think that's exactly what we're gonna get. It's gonna be a aggressive, pissed off song, and he's just gonna probably deliver what his original vision of the song was going to be.
I agree. Can't wait. Looking forward to it. If you haven't already, go and pre-order it like I did. I got the hoodie coming in the mail along with the actual CD, which I plan to not ever open. Um, but yeah, it comes out January of 2026, and that's when the Ride the Lightning single is going to be put out as well. So very interested to see how that's going to go. Megadeth, man, what a legendary band. If you haven't already as well, if you're new to this channel, we did a whole career retrospect of Megadeth in the archives. So please do yourself a favor and go back into the archives and watch those Megadeth episodes, because they were bangers. And we did
Yes, they
Megadeth
were.
by the eras. All right, Willie, today's topic. Are you ready to jump into it?
I'm ready. Let's go.
So we got Led Zeppelin 2 battling it out against Black Sabbath Paranoid. I think, Willie, that we are in for a treat on this one, as we discussed on last week's show. Before we break down both albums, kind of refresh everybody on what you were saying, because this is really interesting, because what you said is how we came across this idea of doing this episode. And you said that both albums felt incomplete, that there was much more that could have been done on both debut albums. Elaborate just a little bit on that, and then we'll get down into the breakdowns.
Yeah, so what I said earlier was that each album of their debut albums, there's only a handful of songs that really stood out, and then a handful of songs that kind of were not like a letdown, but just whatever songs for me. And it just really felt like very like it. The ending of both albums felt sloppy, and then you look at their second album, and you're like, wait, their second album came out 6 months after their first album in the same year of their debut album. And then you look at the songs that are on their second album, and I'm like, holy shit, this is just a continuation of their debut album. Like, easy, hands down. They went back in the studio probably the same week and recorded the second album. And it's holy shit, we have to cover all these songs. You have to.
Agreed, 100% agree. And let's get right into it, man. Going off of what you just said, we're going to start with Led Zeppelin 2, the second album from Led Zeppelin, released October 22nd, 1969, with the same legendary lineup as we all come to know and love from Led Zeppelin: Robert Plant on vocals, Jimmy Page on guitar, John Paul Jones on bass, and John Bonham on drums and percussion. We're going to get into track number 1, kicking it off with Whole Lotta Love. Willie coming in at 5 minutes and 33 seconds. What'd you think of Whole Lotta Love?
I have a whole lot of love for the song. It's a classic Zeppelin song, bro. And this was immediately when I looked at the second album, I was like, well, the first song is Whole Lot of Love. Like, yeah, we got to cover it. So, great opening, timeless song. You hear it all the time now. And yeah, it's Zeppelin, bro.
Yeah, I got to say that this album is not a spoiler here, but this album is my favorite Led Zeppelin album of all time. How it's going to compare to Black Sabbath's Paranoid, we'll find out in a minute. But this is my favorite Led Zeppelin record. Whole Lot of Love. I love how the song opens up with that legendary. It's a fucking metal riff. You know what I
Yep.
mean? It's a metal riff. It's a good song. But believe it or not, I'm not a big fan of this song. And I'll tell you
Really?
why I'm not a big fan of this song. I don't like the middle of this song when they
Mm,
break it all down and it kind
yeah.
of gets all like trippy and shit.
Yeah.
Um, I wish it would have just kept with the fucking steam rolling, you know what I mean? Maybe kicked in with a couple badass solos, maybe a good badass bass line or a drum solo or something. But when they break it down in the middle of the song, it just kind of killed it for me. And I was never a big fan of the song. I loved the opening riff of this song, but that's about the extent of how far I go. And I know, Willie, we're going to get shit on for this
Hmm.
with my comments because this is like one of the most popular Led Zeppelin songs. And I get it, folks. I get it. I'm not bashing the song. I'm not saying it's a bad song. I'm just saying that halfway through the track, it kind of loses me. So therefore, I'm kind of on the fence with. But you got to love that fucking opening riff, dude. It's metal as fuck.
You have to. Yeah, I understand what you're talking about. It does get a lot slower and then builds back up. And I think that's a very Zeppelin style that they have. And you're pretty consistent because I already know you, and a lot of Maiden songs do the exact same thing. And then you have said time and time again that you hate that about Maiden. So I
Yep.
can see why the song would be no different for you.
Yep. For all the newbies out there to this channel, I appreciate a good long song. I appreciate a good musicianship in a song, but I also do appreciate when the song is anywhere between 3 to 5 minutes and it's just fucking to the point, badass, and move on. I like me some ballads, don't get me wrong, but I like me some chugginess. And the beginning of the song, I'm like, yep, and then they get down in the middle, I'm like, nope. So it's not a bad song again. I
Right.
enjoy it, except for that part.
Yeah.
Track number 2, coming in at 4 minutes and 47 seconds. What is and what should never be? Willie, what's your take?
I love this fucking song. I think Robert Plant's vocals on this song really sells the song. I think the melody that he chose. One thing about Plant that I really enjoy is that you have Jimmy Page just creating this amazing like riff, right? And but you have also Robert Plant coming in with this melody of his own, and the harmonizing just with his vocals and the song, it goes really fucking well. And I can't think of another like vocalist that does it as good as Plant does, because it
Yeah.
really fits Zeppelin and it makes Zeppelin. It really does. And this song definitely, if it wasn't for Plant, the song is good, but I think Plant's vocals in this song really sells it.
I absolutely, I 100% agree with everything you just said, and I fucking love this song. I love everything about this song. There is nothing wrong to this song, in my opinion. And I want to bounce this off of you, Willie, as I was hearing you explain Plant and Page kind of like bouncing off of each other. We know certain bands out there, Guns N' Roses, Slash, they do that talking guitar, right? They do
Mm-hmm.
a talking guitar riff. I kind of get that sense with Page and Plant that they're both feeding off of each other to where whatever Page is playing, Plant's kind of mimicking it with like a melody or a sound or something. And then
Mm-hmm.
maybe something that Page is hearing from Plant, he's trying to replicate it on the guitar as well. And they're kind of like bouncing off of each other. And I think it's
Mm-hmm.
fucking fantastic. And this song, as you said, is a fucking good example of that.
It really is. And the way that Plant is able to slow his vocal tone down to meet the style that is being played, and then immediately go to a high note and just fucking scream his fucking lungs out. Really, really impressive. It really is.
Yep. And you know what that reminds me of too is David Coverdale of Whitesnake, and
Mm,
he's been bashed in the past about trying to mimic Robert Plant, and
mm,
you can definitely see the stylistics between the two, and
yeah,
especially the way that Coverdale would dress on stage as well was a lot of Robert Plant,
yeah,
but David Coverdale was really good at doing that as well
he
with the vocal
was.
ranges, same thing that Robert Plant is. But what's interesting too is you look back at this timeline, dude, and you look back at what Zeppelin was able to do with their effects and what
Mm-hmm.
limited studio, I'm sure back in the day, of like equipment they had to do those effects.
Right.
But the way Plant changes his voice on a lot of these songs, really
Yes.
high fucking pitch to a really low, like deep, almost like not growl, but a very guttural kind of like low monotone. You know what I mean?
Yep.
But it's very awesome to see how Plant can like change those up and how they fit in with the song so perfectly, and how Page is just like right in there with him the whole time too. And it's just like it's so great to hear these two just bounce off of each other as
Yep.
if like they were meant to do this with each other.
Couldn't have said it better. Easy.
Love fucking this song, dude. Number two, What Is and What Should Never Be. Badass song. Song three, we got the Lemon song, Willie. The goddamn Lemon song. What'd you think of the goddamn Lemon song?
It was a long song.
Yes.
It's a long song. I dig the main riff. It was
Yes.
a very hard rock, on the border of a metal riff, which I liked. Um, Not much more I could say. It was just a fun song. It was just a
Hmm.
fun song.
I
Yeah.
agree. The song was a little too long, coming in at 6 minutes and 20 seconds. But I love this song too.
Yeah.
Everything that you just said plus more. There's a vibe to this album, dude. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
there is.
Like as opposed to the first album they put out, which is kind of like hit or miss on certain spots here and there. You know what I mean? It's like,
Mm-hmm.
are we going this direction? But we're going this, and then we're going back, and then we're going over here.
Yeah.
This one had a very solid, a heavy, very. Now I don't mean like heavy as in like a heavy guitar, but like a very heavy bass drum fucking like vibe that you just want to groove to. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like
Yeah.
this is a very. I don't want to say groovy because back then groovy, far out, all that bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
But this is a very groove oriented album, and it's
Yes.
very easy to get into the whole album, and like every song just like piggybacks off the other. It's like a
It really
great fucking
does.
boom, 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 boom.
Yep. Yep. Couldn't have said it better. I think the first album they really got the excitement out, and then with this album, I think they were allowed to kind of take a breather and put out a banger of an album.
Yeah, it definitely sounds like they had more time to really think about this record. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? And how quickly this record came out to the the
Mm-hmm.
debut album is very fascinating to see because Zeppelin's debut album sounds like what a debut album should be. Like a band is trying to find its identity, trying to find itself, and
Right.
they found themselves quickly with this
They did.
album, dude.
Yep.
Especially the way how they just all just bounce us off of each other, all these songs. But yeah, Lemon song, I love it too. I can't say anything bad about it. other than the fact that it is a little too long.
Yeah.
Track 4, we got Thank You.
Yep.
Oh, well, thank you too, Zeppelin. Coming in at 3 minutes and 50 seconds. What'd you think, Willie?
This is a beautiful song. We get our first little taste of a acoustic style song, which I appreciate a lot. And I think coming in as track 4, this was a perfect placement for the song.
I agree. I can't say anything more than what you just said. This is a very underrated song in Zeppelin's catalog. If you folks out there haven't heard this song yet on Led Zeppelin 2, please do yourself a favor and go out of your way to listen to this song.
Yes.
It should be in everybody's Led Zeppelin rotation in any shape, way, or form. Love it. Thank you. Thank you, Zeppelin, for producing that track.
Mm-hmm.
Off to side 2, back then when they did side 1 and side 2, we have coming in hot right off the presser, dude. Heartbreaker, man.
Yep.
What do you think of Heartbreaker?
It's a heavy metal song.
Yes, it is.
Heartbreaker is definitely one that stands out for me on this whole entire album. It is probably the most aggressive song on the album. And what a way to kick off side 2 with a fucking Heartbreaker, bro.
Yep. We're going to see when we get through with this album if this is still my favorite song all these years later. But back when I was a kid, this was definitely my favorite song. I love the like it's a fucking heavy riff, dude. And then when fucking Bonham comes in with the drums, I love the way the snare sounds on this album, dude.
Yes.
I'm a sucker for a good snare. Yep. And the snare on this album, dude, is fucking phenomenal. And when he comes in with the and then he starts playing along with it, dude, it is fucking phenomenal. And then John Paul Jones as well with the fucking bass guitar, dude.
They have that bass line, bro.
Oh my god, dude. Like, holy shit. The same thing goes for the fucking Thank You and fucking Lemon Song. Like, you can't say those songs without talking about John Paul Jones and his bass line, dude. Fucking impeccable.
Yep. I cannot agree more.
And then further on down into Heartbreaker 2, when they get into the fucking towards the end of the song and they really get it's like yeah, okay, you know, it's 1969, what are we doing here, you know what I mean? This is fucking different, you know.
Yep.
I really enjoyed this song. We'll see if it stands up as my favorite song all these years later, but yes, man, Heartbreaker is a fucking banger, still is a banger to this day. And that takes us right into Living Loving Maid, She's Just a Woman. Now, people might not know this, but way back when radio was more of a thing than it is now, these two songs were played together.
They
We'd
were.
have Heartbreaker, and then we go into Living Loving Maid. I love me some Living Loving Maid too, man. This is another banger of a song. What say you?
I fucking love this song so much. This is one of my favorites on the entire album. Probably one of my favorite Zeppelin songs. And it's a quick song, 2 minutes and 40 seconds.
Yep.
And it's just fucking great, dude. It's fun. It's so fun and easy to listen to. And yeah, when I was looking up this album, and then after Heartbreaker, I was like, wait, as a kid, I remember this as just one song.
Yep.
And I was
it
like,
goes right into it.
I was a bit confused, and I was like, oh, this was actually 2 separate songs? That's crazy. I did not know that. Actually, I thought this was one song.
Yeah. Yeah, it goes right into it, man. Right after Heartbreaker stops, this one picks up. Love the fucking song. It reminds me of, well, I'm not going to get into it because I'm going to fucking butcher the goddamn song title because I don't remember it. Plus, it's a different band, so we'll just fuck off altogether. But yeah, Living Loving Maid, man, is such a badass song. And that takes us into an absolute banger of a song, a sleeper of a song. That is Ramble On, Willie. Why don't you go ahead and ramble on and tell us what you thought of this song?
I fucking love this song. This song to me is everything that it needs to be. And as a Lord of the Rings fan, of course, this song stands out to me because he talks about Gollum and all that, and how he just rambles on. It's a brilliant fucking song. It's a fun song, and the acoustics mixed with that fucking hard like chorus, dude.
Yep.
And the way that Plant, the way that his vocals extends upward in the chorus and then drops back down, like, dude. Fucking brilliant. What a great mind.
Yep. And the way that Page is playing that fucking riff in the background too, as fucking he's singing Ramble On too. It's like Ramble On, and then fucking Bonham in the back too with the fucking drums, man, is so fucking incredible, dude.
Yep.
This song is definitely a sleeper in the catalog of Led Zeppelin. More people need to check this out. And I would fuck my whole self up if I didn't mention this too. That you ever notice the differences between Ozzy and Robert Plant as far as their lyric writing goes. That Ozzy was more on the occult side, right? More kind of like political side,
Yep.
whereas fucking Plant is always singing about some bitch cheating on him.
Always. Yep.
It's like, dude, he can't find a good fucking chick to save his life, bro. Like these chicks are
I
always
know.
cheating on his ass. What the
Yeah,
fuck?
he's fucking half naked, so I guess it makes sense. I don't
I
know.
mean, yeah. I mean, if you're half naked, I guess you're gonna find some half naked whore on the side too. I don't know, but it's just funny because when I was listening to these lyrics too, because growing up, I always listened to the music. I knew the lyrics, but I didn't put two and two together on the lyrics. You know what I mean? Until you get older,
Yeah.
obviously. And then I'm listening to this, I'm like, dude, fucking Plant, bro. Can you find yourself a decent woman, dude? Like,
Yep.
what the fuck is wrong with you? You know?
Exactly.
But a song "Ramble On" is another one too. When he's talking about this fucking bitch, he just needs to ramble on from this chick.
Yep.
But that leads us into Moby Dick. I think this song is best known for John Bonham's drum solo in this song,
Yeah.
um, which is an amazing fucking drum solo in my
Yeah.
opinion. Moby Dick, Willie, don't be a dick. Tell us what you think of this one.
I mean, it is what it is. It's a song where everyone gets to play their parts, and it sounds like they all had fun with it. Is it my favorite song? No, but I get what they're trying to do.
I agree. Like I said, this song is best known for Bonham and his drumming and the whole drum solo, and like you said, everybody's parts in this as well.
Yeah.
Closing this album out is now again. Anybody who's been around this show for a while or is brand new to this album or to this show, I love a good album when it starts hard and heavy at the beginning and ends hard and heavy at the end.
Hmm.
This album to me did that. Whole
Yes.
Lot of Love and Bring It On Home are two badass openers and badass
Hmm.
closers. Bring It On Home, Willie, is one of my all-time favorite songs from Led Zeppelin.
Yep, yep. I love this fucking song. You had that minute and what 40 seconds of the opening, and then after that, dude, it's just heavy and crunchy and does everything you want it to.
Yep, and how about that harmonica?
Yep. Yep.
I mean, dude, fucking this song is fucking amazing, bro. I've heard stories of people who have been to Zeppelin shows back around this time, and they'd say that they would come on stage playing this song, and
Hmm.
as soon as the harmonica kicked in, people would lose their fucking
Oh
minds and
yeah,
shit.
man.
And then as soon as the fucking curtain drops, people were fucking falling over themselves, dude, when
I'm
Zeppelin
sure,
kicked
bro.
into the song.
Hell
But
yeah.
4 minutes and 19 seconds, dude, is a perfect like song to end this fucking album, dude. I could
Yep.
have asked for a better album. This it still holds up to this day, dude. It's still so good. If a band today came out with this album, it would be an instant fucking hit. That's how good this album
Yes.
is.
Absolutely. Yeah, this whole album, bro, is just like I said, we had to cover this album because if you would have took a couple songs off their debut album and then put all these on it, that debut record would have been fucking phenomenal. Best debut fucking record. But this was their second, and it made sense that they came out 6 months later and dropped these fucking songs.
They came out swinging with this album, dude. There's not a miss on this album. There really
No.
isn't. It's from start to finish. It just makes perfect sense. It has a perfect flow to the album, and every song is a fucking gem. Any one of
Yep.
these songs right now, you can pluck out of thin air, put it on the radio, and it'd be an instant fucking hit.
Yep, I
You know what I
agree.
mean? That's how good this album is. But that takes us to the part of the show, Willie. What's your favorite song?
Favorite song has to be Ramble On.
Least favorite?
I would have to say Moby Dick.
Okay. Why on both?
Ramble On is exactly what I love in a song. Every element to the song, for me, is perfect. And this song has always been my favorite. I think this might be my one. It's hard to say if this is my favorite Zeppelin song, but it's definitely in the top three.
Mm-hmm.
And it always has been. And I was surprised that this was on the second album. I thought this was a little bit later on, but it was not. And yeah, that's my favorite. And for Moby Dick, it was just everyone playing their parts. And after analyzing every song on this album, that has to be the song that I would least go back to.
I would agree with that. My least favorite song on this album is Moby Dick. I would say Whole Lot of Love, but I'll let that horse just stay where it's at. I don't need to beat it up any more than I already did earlier. But yeah, Moby Dick, just because of what it was, as you said, just everybody playing their parts. Bonham's drumming is incredible, though.
Yeah.
My favorite song on the record is still a tie between Heartbreaker and Ramble On. I think, sake for the argument here, I'm going to pick Heartbreaker still, just because it's such a deep, heavy riff at the beginning, and then
Yeah.
when Bonham's percussion comes in, it's unforgettable. You know what I mean? And the guitar solo, the lead up, the whole fucking pounding of everything as they're leading into the end of the song
Right.
It's such a good fucking song, dude. So yeah, I think I'm gonna have to stick with Heartbreaker. Plus, for the sake of this conversation as well. But any further things you want to say about Led Zeppelin 2 before we move on to Sabbath?
I mean, I think this whole album should be studied, copied, and repeat. Honestly, whatever they did, whatever formula that they had in their mind when creating this album, should definitely be fucking studied. Because just like you said, there's not one song on this album that is bad, and it's very hard to have a complete album where you can't pick once where you know at least you have like two or three bad songs, but this whole album is just a fucking banger, easy.
I agree 100%, dude. There's very few albums out there by any band, and that goes for my favorite band of all time, Megadeth, that I can sit there and say that the album was perfect from start to finish.
Yes.
This one was 100%. There was not a missed beat in this album.
Nope.
It is definitely a classic that will live on forever as it should. And Zeppelin should still be proud of this album to this day. It's a damn shame that Robert Plant has come out over the years and said that Led Zeppelin was nothing more than a mere boy band. That kind of pisses me off.
Right.
Because if they would get their shit together and reunite and hook up with Bonham's son, Jason Bonham, who's killing it, doing Zeppelin covers all over the world in his band.
Right.
If they were to reunite for one last tour, imagine, dude, how
Yep.
massive of a tour that would fucking be.
Damn right, bro. I would be there instantly.
I would be too, man.
Yep.
Front and center. So yeah, that takes us into the album of Led Zeppelin 2 from Led Zeppelin. Before we move on to Black Sabbath's Paranoid, just want to say one more time, folks, YouTube, Spotify, Instagram, and X, we are all over the place. We'd appreciate it if you dropped us a like, if you dropped us a follow, if you commented on our shit, especially on X. It's kind of hard to break through the algorithm there, so if you could do us a favor and kind of nudge us a little bit, that'd be great. But whether you're watching us on YouTube or Spotify or listening to us on YouTube and Spotify, we do appreciate each and every one of you that do pop into these episodes. We appreciate all the support. We're here to have fun, man, and talk shit and reminisce on some good albums and some good songs. So that takes us to September 18th, 1970. We're talking about the legendary Black Sabbath dropping fucking Paranoid. Their second
Yep.
album, just months after their debut Black Sabbath self-titled album. Willie, before we go into the nuts and bolts of this album, what's your take on this one?
Pretty much the same concept as Zeppelin. Look at the songs on this album, and you can easily tell that this album is a fucking low-key masterpiece of its own. Of course, we have a lot of notable songs on this album, and I think a lot of songs that are slept on as well.
Yep.
And in their debut album, I talked a lot about how Iommi's guitar playing was kind of sloppy, and he didn't really like give me what I was expecting. And I'm glad that they came back 6 months later and gave me what I knew that he had in him. But yeah.
Agreed. I couldn't have said it better myself. Of course, we're talking about Tony Iommi, Geezer Butler, Bill Ward, and the legendary late great Ozzy Osbourne with Black Sabbath. Let's get right into it, man. Track number 1, kicking things off. 7 minutes and 57 seconds. To be honest with you, it doesn't feel like a 7-minute and 57-second song. Of course, we're talking about War Pigs. Willie, don't be a pig. Tell us, what'd you think?
If you don't know War Pigs, then I don't know what you're listening to. War Pigs is, of course, one of the most iconic songs from Black Sabbath. And 8 minutes long, but it felt like a journey. It felt like a story. It takes you on this ride, and it doesn't let you off until the 8 minutes is over.
Yep.
Classic song.
Agreed. And how we were talking earlier about the difference in lyrics between Plant and Ozzy. This one here is definitely very politically motivated. It's
Yes.
definitely saying, hey, you motherfuckers, you know, you rich elites that want to start these wars, how about you go fucking fighting them instead of sending your fucking sons and daughters of these poor people off, you know what I mean?
Right.
You go fight your fucking rich man's war.
Yep.
So I love it. I love the fucking the story behind the song, and of course when you got the iconic fucking sirens at the beginning, and then it just comes in with that fucking dan 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 from fucking Iommi, dude. It's an amazing fucking song. As you said, it takes us on a journey, and Ozzy's fucking singing on this song is out of this world. You can tell that he meant every single word he sung of the song.
Yep.
And again, like you said, if people out there don't know War Pigs, they're doing themselves a dissatisfaction that they need to go out and check out War Pigs. And even WWE right now is using War Pigs as the Survivor Series theme song for their War Games matches that they do that they took from
Yep.
WCW. So War Pigs is still living on in 2025 and beyond. And I love it, man. And as a matter of fact, before he passed away, I do believe Judas Priest and Ozzy covered this song. And
Mm.
as a matter of fact, I know it's this song. And if you haven't checked out that cover yet, do it. It's pretty badass.
Hell yeah.
Track number 2, we got Paranoid. Willie, don't be paranoid. Tell us what you think.
I mean, I don't think we need to beat this song to death. This song's been played to death
Yep.
everywhere. I think this is probably one of the two songs that everyone knows of Black Sabbath. I believe this was Ozzy's like heart and soul of everything. He fucking loved this song. And yeah, I don't think we need to talk about this as much as we need to.
Yep. This is definitely a metal song. 100% a metal song. The fucking
Yeah.
riff, the playing, the style of it is 100% metal song. Still holds up to this day, too. Track number 3, we got Planet Caravan. What'd you think, Willie?
It was just whatever instrumental, but not instrumental because it still had vocals in it. The recording of it is very very different.
Yeah.
And to put it as track 3, I don't know if I would put it as track 3, but you know what comes to mind with this song is actually the Pantera version of it.
I was just going to say that.
Yeah.
Which, I got to say, still looking back on so many years later after Pantera did this cover, why the fuck they chose this song as a
I don't
cover
know.
of all Black Sabbath songs? I don't know.
No
This
idea.
song is a miss for me. Spoiler, this is my least favorite song on the record. I do not like this song. I don't care for it. I never was one to trip out on LSD or acid, and I feel like they were all tripping out on LSD and acid when they did the song.
Yeah.
Track 4, we have Iron Man, not to be mistaken with the superhero, but this is Black Sabbath's Iron Man. Another one, Willie, just like Paranoid, that everybody should know, but just your quick synopsis on it.
Iron Man, when you begin playing guitar, this is obviously one of the first songs that you learn how to play for obvious reasons.
This would be
And,
after like Smoke on the Water, yeah?
exactly. Yep, exactly that. And besides Paranoid, this is the other song that everyone knows of.
Yep, agreed. Couldn't said it better myself. We got on side 2 now. That was the end of side 1. Side 2, we're going into Electric Funeral. Fuck yeah, man. I love me some Electric Funeral. What you got to say about it?
Very doomy, bro. This is a very doom metal song, completely. I don't think you can mistake this song for what it gives you. It gives you this like Black Sabbath feel. Like it was very Black Sabbath and not as like commercial, which I loved about it. And to start out side 2 with this song, perfect fucking pick.
I always do the sound effects on this show, Willie, but I want you to do the sound effects. Give me the riff on this song, brother. How does it go?
Oh, that's not my job. I'm not doing that on there. Nope.
I love the riff, dude. The riff is so fucking fun, man. And it reminds me of this is a different Black Sabbath album, but Children of the Grave. Like, I love these two songs, dude, because of the fucking riffage and how heavy and dark this shit is, dude. It's like, man, Electric Funeral is still one of my favorite Black Sabbath songs of all time. It still holds up for me to this day.
Yeah.
This is a hell of a way to kick off side 2 of the album as well.
It is.
Coming right into Electric Funeral. Coming in at song 2 on side 2, we have Hand of Doom. What you think about Hand of Doom, Willie?
It was a long song. I liked it. There was a lot of different changes in this song, which I liked because it wasn't like boring, I guess is the word you can say. But it really didn't do a whole lot for me, actually.
I have a different opinion of this song. My opinion of this song is I heard this album way back when I was a youngster, right? I mean, I heard the song a million times. I heard this album a million times.
Yeah.
I never put 2 and 2 together that this song was called Hand of Doom, right? And it wasn't until years later, into my late teens or so, and I would say probably early 20s, like when YouTube first started coming around and shit. And I'm rediscovering old music that I hadn't listened to in a while. And I remember saying, like, what the fuck is Hand of Doom from Black Sabbath? And I put it on. I was like, oh, my God, I forgot about this song.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is about this song, dude. but this song does something for me to where I like this song a lot. And I
Okay.
mean, I like this song probably more than I should,
Mm-hmm.
especially given how long this song is and
Right.
how
Yeah.
slow this song is. But I don't know what it is about this song, dude. I really can't put my finger on it, but I do enjoy the shit out of the song.
Okay. I was not expecting that.
Me neither, dude. And I, like I said, going back and listening to this album again today in preparation for this episode, I was like, dude, I still like this song, and I shouldn't like this song by my own standards. You know what I mean?
Right.
I shouldn't like this song, but
Yeah.
I can't put my finger on it. I don't know what the fuck it is.
Right.
But I do like
Okay.
me some Hand of Doom. Plus, Ozzy's vocals in the song are great, and his fucking lyrics are
Yeah.
fucking heavy, bro.
Yeah, they
Like,
are.
god damn, dude. Probably another reason why I
Yes.
like the song.
Right.
Track 3 on side 2, we have an instrumental coming in at 2 minutes and 30 seconds. We have Rat Salad. Willie, don't be a rat. Tell us.
It was a 2 minute and 30 second song. Nothing special, just an instrumental. But don't got much added to this one.
Going back to what we are talking about with Heartbreaker and Living Living Maid, how they both
Mm-hmm.
played back to back.
Yeah.
This song would be the prelude into Fairies Wear Boots, which is the last song on this record, obviously. But
Yeah.
Rat Salad would always start off, and then it would kick into fucking Fairies Wear Boots, just like on Black Sabbath's first record when they did that
Mm-hmm.
whole medley, and they had
Right.
that bass song that came in before NIB. Same
Yeah.
shit, same shit.
Yeah.
But kicking off, or I should say kicking off, ending out the album on side 2, 6:15, we have Fairies Wear Boots. I'm not going to say it, Willie. Just tell us what you think about the song.
This song is fucking brilliant. A masterpiece of a fucking song. This song has no business in being on this album because this song should be an album of its own. I have nothing but praises for this fucking song, and that opening riff, it's like dude, the whole riff is at least like a 30-second riff, and it doesn't stop, and you don't need it to stop. I don't know what he was doing when he created this fucking riff, but I think this might be the greatest rock and roll heavy metal riff of all fucking time.
Fairies wear boots, man. You gotta believe me. It's like when I was younger and listening to this song, I'm like, dude, is he thinking like singing what I'm thinking he's singing about, bro? But dude, this is a fucking amazing song, brother. It's a fucking banger still to this day too.
Yep.
I do enjoy me some Fairies Wear Boots. It's fucking funny when you like read the song titles, like Fairies
I
Wear
know,
Boots,
right?
brother. But there's a meaning to it. But it is a badass song, and again, it's another great track to end the record too. I think so.
Yes. Yes. Yep.
All right,
100%.
Mr. Willie, we are done with Black Sabbath's Paranoid record, their second album in their catalog. Favorite song on this record and why?
Favorite song, Fairies Wear Boots.
And
Easy.
why?
I just said it's a brilliant masterpiece of a song, and it should be of its own album completely.
Okay. Least favorite.
I would have to agree with you that Planet Caravan is the least attractive song on this album.
You just got to be on LSD, man. You know what I
I
mean?
guess so.
Like, just drop
Guess
that hit of
so.
acid, bro, and let's get into
Fuck.
some Planet Caravan.
Fuck.
For me, my favorite song on this record is probably Electric Funeral. I still, to this day, I think it's a terrific fucking song.
Yep.
And as we said earlier, Planet Caravan is my least favorite as well. But all in all, dude, Paranoid, Black Sabbath's second album, was it better than the debut album in your opinion?
Yes, it was.
I
Completely.
agree. Just like Led Zeppelin 2 was better than Led Zeppelin 1,
Yep.
I think Paranoid is better than Black Sabbath. And same thing I said with Black Sabbath's debut record, dude. If you took out a few songs on that record and put some of these in here, same
Yep.
thing could be said with this one too. If you can drop out like Planet Caravan and Rat Salad and throw in a couple of those ones into this album, it'd be a hell of a fucking banger of a debut
Brilliant.
album, dude.
Yep.
100%.
I agree.
So, the time has come.
Uh-oh.
Drum roll.
Uh-oh.
Who had the better second album, Willie? Black Sabbath Paranoid
Oh,
or Led Zeppelin
man.
2?
All right, here we go. The best album between these two. I have to mimic what I did last episode and pick Led Zeppelin 2 as the better album.
Okay. For me, I picked Black Sabbath last week on the debut records, and this week I'm going to have to go with Led Zeppelin. I think Led Zeppelin 2 is just too
Yeah.
good of an album to go
Yep.
against. It'd be hard if you found me a good classic rock banger of a band and put their second album up against this one. This album might crush all of them, dude. That's how
Yes.
good this album is. And it's not saying anything wrong about Black Sabbath. It was a terrific
Right.
fucking record. Amazing fucking record.
Yes.
But Led Zeppelin 2 just took the cake.
Yeah, if you didn't have Planet Caravan and Rat Salad and put in two different songs, it would have been a very, 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 very strong tie, maybe. But I think Led Zeppelin 2 was just a more complete album, in my opinion.
Agreed. Who had the better album cover?
So the better album cover for me, I have to choose Zeppelin on this one. What about you?
Interesting. You know, I was looking at it too, and I think I got to pick Led Zeppelin 2 album
Yeah,
cover as a better cover. I picked Sabbath last week. I got to go with Zeppelin
same.
2 on this one because I remember as a kid listening to this record and looking at the cover art. I'm like, what the fuck is this? I thought this was the band. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
when I was younger, I thought this was. I was like, God damn, how many members of the band are there? You
I
know,
know.
but it turns out it's not the band. You know what I mean?
No.
But I definitely got to go with Led Zeppelin's cover as well. Um, I mean, both fantastic records by two fantastic bands, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, both bands came out swinging, dude, with their second albums, man.
Yeah. Um, we talked about last week about Black Sabbath's cover, and we're like, what the fuck is that? Again, what the fuck is on Paranoid? This dude's wearing a helmet with a sword.
You know what
Like,
I think it is, dude? To be
what the
honest
fuck
with
is
you,
that?
I think it's a police officer with like a billy club, and I think the way that the it's smeared
Oh,
out, I think is making it look like it's a sword or some shit. But I do believe
okay.
that it's either a police officer or a riot officer or something. Because if you look in his arm, he has like a
Okay.
shield,
That
and then
makes
like
more
the baton
sense.
up in the air, and like with the song with the album cover, Paranoid, album title Paranoid. I think maybe you're paranoid to get your ass beat by three fucking
Yeah.
whatever these guys are, riot police. But
Okay.
I mean, when you're dropping LSD and you're listening to Planet Caravan, you're
Yeah.
probably seeing three of these dudes as well.
Yeah, that's a terrible album cover. I'm sorry. It's fucking bad.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of the album cover either, but I mean,
No.
it was 1970 and everybody was on LSD, so that's probably what you got.
I guess so. I do want to point out that Led Zeppelin actually released two albums before the debut album of Black Sabbath.
Really? Oh,
Yeah,
that's yeah, yeah, yeah,
because
yeah.
yeah, so I'm like before Black Sabbath even started their first album, Zeppelin was already two albums deep.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it is crazy, and it's also interesting to know too. I don't know this for a fact, and if anybody out there in the audience would like to comment and let us know, we talked about last week that Black Sabbath was called Earth before they chose Black Sabbath. Did they do any recordings as Earth, or was it just Black Sabbath? That's a good question.
I don't know. Yep, I could not answer that.
Because if they did, I wonder if that's around the same time frame of Led Zeppelin when they put out their shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, could be. Could be.
It'd
I
be
don't
very
know.
interesting. So, if anybody out there in the audience knows the answer to that question, please drop us a comment and let us know on the socials or right here on the YouTube or Spotify as you're listening to this. But yeah, it'd be interesting to know if they released anything under the album or under the title Earth. But yeah, man, I mean, we did it, dude. Yeah, we had to cover.
Yeah.
At some point, we had to cover both of these bands, but I think taking both of these bands and putting them together to do a versus of is great because you have Led Zeppelin. This is just my opinion, and my opinion only. Led Zeppelin are like the originators, the pioneers of hard rock. Sabbath is the pioneers and originators of heavy metal, and you had to do them both at the same time in verses because they are so iconic and around the same time period. Both coming from England, you know what I mean. But I think that this was a series of episodes that needed to be done, Willie.
Yep, I could not agree more. I think this was a very, very great way to introduce classic rock on this channel.
Yep.
We have not done that yet, and this was our first time with these two iconic bands. And I can say for myself, I really enjoyed it, and I want to do more classic rock now.
I agree too. I do too. I would like to do some hair metal. You know what I mean? Down the line
Mm-hmm.
too, like freshen up a little bit. And you out there in the audience, if you want to hear some more classic rock, give us some ideas of some bands that you want to hear. Willie and I have been kicking around some ideas on some bands that maybe we should bring up on this show. But what do you think out there? This show is primarily for you. It's to engage with the audience here and have fun with and have a discussion, a debate about. So what do you want to hear out there? What other hard rock, classic rock bands do you want us to cover on this podcast? Any comments would be much appreciated, and we'll see if we can't do an episode or two with any of your suggestions out there. But Willie, before we put the bow on this, anything else you want to add about any of these two bands or the podcast or anything that we might have coming up?
Yeah, I just want to say, hope you all are enjoying these debut albums. They're really fun for us to kind of pick and choose which bands are similar and when they came out and their debut album and all that. So it's been really fun for us to find out what bands to pick and listen to them, and I hope you all are enjoying that as well. And we do have another series that is going to come out eventually. Same with similar to our Meta series where we did a 4-part series about their entire discography. So we have another band in mind that we're going to be probably doing up here pretty damn soon. So stay tuned for that. I think you all are going to really enjoy that one as well.
Agreed. 100% agreed. I couldn't said it better myself. Thank you out there to the audience that pays attention to the show, helps us out, shares the podcast and the video formats and everything else. We do appreciate it. We couldn't have done it without you. And with that being said, I think we're putting a bow on this one, Willie. Yeah, good episode.
That's a wrap. Yep.
Good episode,
man.
So you out there, one more time, we are on X, we are on Instagram, Spotify, YouTube. Find us, like us, share us, comment on us, do whatever the fuck you want to us. Just share the word that we're doing this over here, talking all things hard rock, heavy metal, classic rock, hair metal, you name it, we're doing it right here on Riffs Reloaded. I am your host, Nick. That's Willie over there in that corner. We do appreciate you guys tuning in. And until next time, folks, stay fucking heavy.
Peace out.